What is up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to Clothing. Welcome to another wonderful video. In today's video, we're going to be creating this beautiful shirt dress here. So I was actually watching LOL Ninja on Amazon Prime, and I saw Kiki wear this beautiful shirt dress, and I was like, girl, you've got to recreate this. And what better way to recreate it than to create a tutorial while creating it, so that anyone that is interested in creating this outfit can just follow the tutorial, and yeah, you'll make yourself a masterpiece, a banging masterpiece. Okay, so this is what we have now. I decided to come on here this way so that we can see how it looks. Woo, totally amazing. Like, immediately just wearing it already gives me the regal look. Okay, it has this frills at the back. That's like the highlight of this style. Absolutely love it. I've not yet put buttonholes on button stand, and I can decide just to make the buttons like inactive, like just sew buttons on there without it being like without opening and closing, really, because it's actually a free shirt dress, right? And it looks so beautiful. It actually looks so beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, guys, let's dive right into today's video. This is the fabric we are going to be using. What we are going to do is take the bust measurement you're working with and divide that measurement by 4. The bust measurement we're working with here is 38 inches. You divide that by 4 and you'll be having 9.5 inches. So that is what you're supposed to fold widthwise this way. However, because this is a shirt dress, there are some ease and allowances that you need to put in this folding. The first one is going to be the button stand. We need 2 inches for our button stand right here. The next ease that we need to add will be the ease on the shirt. I want the shirt to be like an exaggerated, like an oversized shirt dress. So what I'm going to do is add 2 inches for the button stand, 2 inches for ease and this shirt dress, and then 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So instead of adding 4 inches widthwise, I'm going to be adding 5 inches to my 9.5. So in total, along the width, I should have 14.5 inches. So this is what I'm having right here. Let's see. 2 inches for the button stand. I've chalked that part. Because of the folding at the bottom, I'm going to be having 28 inches long. Okay. Once we have done this, you can go ahead to iron the button stand so that it stays in place. So for the yoke at the back, I'm going to let it stop at 10 inches. So I'm going to cut the same width, right? But 10 inches, that's where the yoke will get to. Okay, so I have my 2 front pieces, the left and the right, and then the back. First of all, the neck width is going to be 3 inches wide here, 3 inches and mark at that point. And then from that 3 inches, the shoulder width we are using is 9 inches wide. So here. So what I'm going to do is from this 9 inches, I'm going to measure it 1 inch below here. And then we're going to slope the shoulder from this point here, there. Okay. What we're going to do next is to move this front. We'll move the 2 pieces below, right? So that it's about 2 inches below space. You can measure so that it's very accurate. This is the front here. Okay. We have the front, the 2 front pieces, and the back. Make sure the back is about 2 inches above the front, and then you want to overlap it this way. So I'll just use my iron to when you're overlapping, let this half inch overlap this place here. So we have folded this up here. So this will make sure that by the time you're wearing the shirt, sometimes you wear your shirts and you see that it keeps pulling to the back. Then you need to keep adjusting to the front. This will make sure that that is prevented. It prevents that from happening. So now we can start putting in our measurements and shape the shirt. So we're going to we're going to draw our horizontal lines. The first line we're going to draw is the armhole line from this top. So all the measurements start from right here, this fold here. The armhole line, we'll use 8 inches there, 10.5 inches for the bust line. That's because of the size we are working with. The waist line will be using 14 inches. And then the hip line will just go to the bottom of this shirt dress. So this neck depth we're working with will be 3 inches deep and then 2.5 inches wide. So I'll just round it properly. If you have your neckline curve, please use that to round it properly. To cut the neckline properly, you need to cut this front according to the shape that you shaped. That's how you go. And then for the back, you lift this part that you folded and you just cut it out. So I hope you got what we did there. You cut that rounded shape and then you cut this part away. So this is what you should be having on the neck. Cut the rounded shape for the front, then the back will have this. We'll measure that shoulder width we used up here. The shoulder width was 9 inches, which is here. Make sure you have 9 inches on the armhole line too, and then you can just square the line this way. Once that line has been squared, we then put in the bust width measurements there. So for the bust, we have 38 inches. And when you divide it by 2, you have 9.5 here. Let's put our measuring tape from this point. From here, 9.5, which will be here. And from that point, we're then going to put in our ease. The ease we're using 2 inches ease. And then the sewing allowance of 1 inch here. Okay, so on this bust line too, we'll do the same thing, 9.5, 2 inches ease, and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. And then on the waistline, 36 inches is the waist we're working with. Divide that by 2, we have 9 inches here, 2 inches ease, and 1 inch for the allowance we're working with. So finally we go to the hip. For the hip, we're going to be doing the hip we're working with is 46 inches. 46 divided by 4, 11.5 right here. 2 inches for ease, then 1 inch for the sewing allowance we're working with. So we can connect all these points together. So this is what the bodice is looking like now. This is the neckline right there, the armhole drawn, the armhole point, bust line, waistline, and then the hip line right there. We're then going to cut this out right now. So what we are going to do is, for this back now, we need to put the um, bottom part of the back. So this back is actually going to be a lot longer than what the front is going to be, okay? It's going to come down, and the idea is, first of all, I'm going to be measuring the exact width here. It's about 29 inches. So whatever we're going to be joining as the lower part of this bag should also be about 29 inches to join at the yoke there. So let's prepare the bottom of the back. This is the chiffon fabric right here. So this pointy edge here, I will just fold it, like make it free at the back. However, not pointy at the top there. Very good. So I want to measure the width to see where I have um 29 inches. You know this is on fold, so whatever I have here, I'll multiply that by 2. This is 9 inches, that's 18 here. And let's see what we have on this point. That's 8. 18 plus 8 is about 20, 26. So I think it's safe to just leave it down here. That would be good enough. Let me just draw the line. That's good enough for the to join to the yoke. So I'll cut here. This top part, I'll cut it off. And then I want to measure how long it will be. So whatever you want the length of the back to be, we want it to get to 40 inches, just subtract 8 inches from that 40 inches, whatever you want it to be. And that's most likely what we will be doing. I'm just going to move this up, possibly fold it properly again, so that I'll be able to cut the dress at one go. So let's measure from here. We'll put the measuring tape so that it starts from 8 inches and then to how long we want it to get to. I'll just make it about 40 inches more, which is just about here. So this is what we'll be having there at the back area. So we can cut this out now. So what we are now going to work on is the ruffles. So the ruffles could either be spiral or it could be straight that you just gather. So because of the amount of fabric I have left, I'll just cut rectangular strips, iron it, and that will be what we're going to use for the ruffles. The rectangular strips I'll fold into 2, taking in mind how wide I want it to be. So just like this, then cut, then iron, and then we'll start ruffling it up. Okay. So here is the back pieces, the back yoke right here. And once you open it up, this is what you should be having as well. Followed by the parts that we cut with fullness. So that's where the ruffle is going to be attached to. This is the rectangular strips I cut 11 inches wide, and you fold into 2, and then you begin to sew and then gather around that top. These are the front pieces. You need the left front piece and the right front piece, and these are the sleeves. The length of the sleeve is 21 inches long, so I made the sleeve along the wrist a bit fuller than my wrist. The wrist circumference we're working with is 9 inches, so I made the wrist fuller. We have the lower part of the shirt dress here. You can see it in all its beauty. And what we're going to do is follow the sides. We're pinning along the sides, the top, and then the other sides, making sure that this ruffle is okay. So what we'll do now is just to nicely baste this along the back. We have the front bodices, left and right front bodices. What I'm going to do is put this together just by the button stand here, and I'm going to run a basting stitch right through the middle, so as though it is buttoned up. That's what I want us to do now. This will help secure the stitch, and then it stays in place this way. Okay, so let's run a stitch right through this middle here. Okay, so we have this neatly put together right through the middle. You can iron if you want to, but what I want us to do is sew up the shoulder seams, right? I want us to join the back yoke to this front yoke, like sew up the shoulders and close it before we then put the bottom part of the back. I'm going to first sew it right side to right side. You know that this is how the back is long. I'll sew it right side to right side first, then flip it and then sew it wrong side on wrong side. So after joining up the shoulder seams, um, the collar will be going in here, and then this is the yoke, the bottom here, where we're going to be putting the part we worked on earlier, the ruffled part. That's where we're going to put. Then joining up the sides and then finishing this up. So here is the collar. It's been ironed smoothly. It looks so good and is ready to now be installed into the shirt. So what we're going to do is get the shirt without the collar along the neck area here. There's no collar here. Get your collar piece that you have neatly done. What you're going to do is match it up. So instead of matching it up from the right side this way, instead of matching it up as it would this way, you want to take it from the interior so that the main part has the one that is has the part that is exposed. Then you now use the other collar. You know the collar is like two pieces. You now use the second one to cover it up, and it then falls this way, so it looks neater that way. So this is what I mean. Take your collar, open it this way, open it this way, then take one piece of the collar. You know the second one is dangling. Take one piece and start pinning it this way. Or if you want to wear it alone, just increase the length of the front. You see the back goes as low as a proper shirt will go. So depends on what you want to do, and this is how we look. 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 I'm absolutely, absolutely loving this. Okay? Stay tuned and thank you so much for watching. Bye.